Hey guys, what is up? It is No Help and welcome back to another video today. So if you guys like the video, make sure to go ahead and smash the like button. So today is just going to be sort of like a skill and chill kind of talking video. A couple people actually in my comments recently have brought up to me that I should talk about Ironman Worlds. Now, I know we have like specific worlds that you can go on to for like a group Ironman, for example, blast furnace, all these random activities. I know we have these kinds of worlds already in the game, but when they pointed it out to me, I was like thinking, we already have these. But then they said to me that it could be a world that only Ironman can actually go into. So say you weren't an Ironman, you couldn't like go on to that world, for example. You know how say you don't have 2,000 total levels, you can't go on a 2,000 total level world. This would be the same kind of thing, but if you're a main account, you cannot go on to the Ironman only world. And at first I was like, that is a brilliant idea, and I don't know why Jagex hasn't done this. But then I really thought about it for a little while. It would be really overpowered. Now I know there are some Ironmen that do PK on their Ironman, but think about the majority of people that play Ironman. They don't like PKers. You go in the wild to do a clue scroll, or even to train prayer on the altar in the wilderness. That would pretty much eliminate PKers. From that scenario if we had Ironman only worlds, because that's where you would do all of your wilderness activities, right? So this would kind of pretty much make the wilderness like not as scary. And I know there still would be some people that would attack you and rag you and whatever, but for the most part you wouldn't get PK'd. Do you know what I mean? But then again, it would be very cool for other activities. You know how we have like group Ironman worlds? What if those were only for, group Ironman or something like that? Or even just regular Ironman. Say you wanted to go ahead and do some like raids with only Ironman. It would be a really cool thing to have like a world where you could go ahead and do that. And I know you can go ahead and get together with some friends or some clan chats or whatever and do something with only Ironman, for example. But it would be cool to be able to do this on a specific world. I don't know how Jagex would actually implement something like this without making it really broken. Like I said, it would be super overpowered for wilderness activities. They could do something where they pretty much, you can't enter the wilderness or something like that on these worlds, but then again, that might be really buggy and glitchy and stuff like that. But it would be like a cool little thing to go ahead and do. Another idea that somebody brought up to me as well is having something like an Ironman guild. Do you know how we have like a crafting guild or something like that? This might be a little controversial as well, because I know certain players would be like, that's stupid if we can't go in there, for example, or whatever. But it would be kind of like cool, similar to a world, but sort of like a guild, something like the farming guild or the crafting guild, but like an Ironman guild that only, for example, Ironman players could go into. I guess we kind of have something like that when you do the tutorial island on the group Ironman, but I'm pretty sure a main can go there. They can, right? Before they even like choose to be an Ironman. Like when you first start an account, I'm pretty sure you can go there. I could be wrong, but something that would just like be a place where only Ironman, for example, could go ahead and hang out. I don't know about you, but when I first unlocked the 2200 worlds or even the 2000 worlds, I was super excited because I'm the type of person who, doesn't really like crowded areas in Runescape, like the Grand Exchange or just anywhere really that's really crowded. I've always just like, even just to do bank standing activities, I would, go to that place on Fossil Island, the island where you were pretty much alone, or, you'd do something that you could just go ahead and do like alone. It was always a cool idea to me to have a bank kind of be in you could like have a bank pretty much in your POH. I don't know if you'd have to like pay the banker fees or something like that, similar to how you'd have a butler, but it's just like cool random places to go ahead and train, right? But yeah, when you unlock like the 2000 total worlds, as I was saying, it's just awesome to go ahead into a world where there is significantly less people, right? And it's just like more privacy. You go to for me, whenever I'm going to do a Slayer task, for example, and the world's crowded, I just go to a 2200 world, and most of the time there isn't any players there, right? And yes, you could say that's unfair, or like the higher level players have an advantage, but like at the same time they had to get those levels, so it's kind of just like a prestigious thing at this point. I just think it would be really cool if they implemented more worlds that maybe had more restrictions on it. Do you know what I mean? Because like you can just go to a blast furnace world right now and, you know, do any activity you want. It doesn't have to be for blast furnace. It's just Jagex's way of kind of just like putting all the people that want to do an activity to go to this world, right? Like if you wanted to go do Wintertodt or Temperus, for example, you can go to specific worlds, and there should be a ton of other players there, right? But not every player in that world is going to be doing that activity, which isn't a problem, but it's just something interesting to talk about. Now, I know that the Ironman only worlds couldn't actually be a thing just because of how overpowered they'd be, like I was talking about, but it would be like a cool idea to implement something that to resemble, I guess, that you're an Ironman, like even if it's just a guild, or even if it's a world where you can't go in the wilderness, or I don't know how they would do something like that, but just to, you know, have it'd be really cool to just know that everyone logged in the world, like say for example this was an Ironman only world, that I would know this guy's an Ironman, this guy's an Ironman, right? And it doesn't really display it, right? You have to like actually speak. So like if I go like, hey, right now, it'll show in the chat that I'm an Ironman, right? But other than that, if they just like right clicked my name, they wouldn't be able to tell. I guess you could always like look them up on the side as well, but it would just be cool to just be able to symbolize or have a place where Ironman can go ahead and get together. Similar to like the leagues, if any of you guys have ever played any of the leagues, or even something like Deadman mode, you know, everyone in that server is basically an Ironman, right? It's a cool feeling to go ahead and do, and I feel like they could implement something like this into the main game that wouldn't be too damaging overall. Because I know if they did something like an Ironman only world, there would be a ton of players that would be mad, and there would also be a lot of PKers that would be mad, because I know, for example, I mean, I got killed last night by SparkMac training prayer in the wilderness, but if I was on an Ironman only world, something like that couldn't happen, which would be pretty overpowered and game breaking, right? Nobody in the right mind would train prayer if we like on a regular world, if we had the Ironman only worlds, right? And then again, there also would be players that would just make pures to go ahead and just kill people in the wilderness, like Ironman pures or something like that. It would just be a mess. Now, they did a survey like at the start of the year. I actually covered it in a video maybe a few months ago, pretty much about updates that we'd want to see and different types of game modes, but at the same time, it'd be really cool to have something, maybe like a whole server where it would just be only Ironman. They talked about doing like 2010 servers, or doing a pretty much old school RuneScape from day one without all of the updates. So you'd have like the pixelated graphics, you wouldn't have things like the Motherlode Mine or Zalra, and that'd be very interesting. And if that does come out, I will probably make a couple videos on it. I don't think I'll play it long term or try and max an account or anything like that, but you could do some crazy content on something like that, like an ultimate Ironman with like no overpowered methods. Like was there even a looting bag back then? But I don't know if maybe when they do those new servers, they could implement something like an Ironman only world, or I don't know how they would go about doing that. But that's another thing as well that might really split the community, right? If we have all these random servers, which are great, obviously, the idea of them is really, really good, obviously. Something like the leagues really boosts the player base, and it is really fun. But then again, it's only a month. But they talked about releasing permanent leagues worlds, different types of servers, right? And the game's already really split, like, you know, a decade ago at this point, I guess. We only had the one game, RuneScape, and then when it changed over to RuneScape 3, half the player base quit, so they had to make old school RuneScape to bring a lot of them back. And now you have people that swear by RuneScape 3, say it's the best game ever, and you have people that hate RuneScape 3, or you have people that, like me, for example, which are just mutual. I choose to play old school because I find it more rewarding, enjoyable, and just the ease of use of it. I like to actually, you know, feel accomplished when I get a 99. I don't like to get it in a couple of weeks or have a bonus experience weekend or something like that. But it really divides the community, and I'm worried with all of these random extra servers coming out that, for example, can you imagine if we went from like 80k players to 20k on the main game, 20k on, you know, a 2010 server, and then 20k on the old school server, the really old one, and then a permanent leagues world, we'd have another 20,000 people on. It would just really split up the community. But I think that would be the only way we would probably get an Ironman only world, just because I think personally it would be too overpowered to have in the main game. But maybe I'm totally wrong. If you guys have any thoughts or opinions on the Ironman only worlds, leave it down in the comments below. Let me know as well if you guys are going to be playing any of those new servers when and if they come out. I would be interested. I'll probably play them for a little bit, but not long term. As I said, maybe I'll play a permanent leagues world long term, but I wouldn't go ham on it or anything. Maybe I'd make a couple videos on it or something. I don't know. It's gonna be exciting because I'm almost done maxing this account, so when they release all these game modes, I will in a way have more time to go ahead and put into something like this. But we're gonna have to go ahead and see. I just want to know if you guys are gonna be taking part in any of them. But like I said, that's the only way, in my personal opinion, I think we would get Ironman only worlds. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you went ahead and watched the whole video, go ahead and comment Ironman world down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much, and I will catch you in the next one. See ya later.